Sometimes the glare. Okay, I think it's just about 12:30, not quite. This is our warm-up. I am Elena. Let's see, sometimes I don't know what our background is. We're at the Giving Garden and Grove Food Northampton Giving Garden at the Grove Food Northampton Community Garden. I'm with Jules as the camera person.
Hello. Behind the camera.
Jules is behind the camera.
Yeah,
Jules is our new TerraCore person.
Hello. Good to see everyone.
And we are here. We've been just doing some broad forking. It's on this sort of misty morning that now turned like kind of hot but still cloudy and sunny at the same time.
Yeah. A little humid.
Yeah. We're still not cool.
All right.
What else can we talk about? Well, there's so many sunflowers. You can check out all these sunflowers. Basically like, oh, and the planes. I try to avoid talking when the planes go, but yeah, lately I've been talking, I feel like a theme of my Facebook posts have been about the color scheme these days, and I feel like a lot of yellow and purple has been in the landscape recently in the changing season, and I feel like that's so apparent here at the farm.
So it explains. Look at the sunflowers over here.
Yeah, the sunflower, the goldenrod, the asters, and then also combined with just the purple asters, and there are also lots of other purple flowering plants in the sawmill or farm over there.
See that over there?
I don't exactly know what they are. Also the yellow of the Ella campaign flowers, which we could explore. Yeah, we'll explore later. So let me introduce myself again, just for the sake of it. I'm Elena, and we're at the Giving Garden, where we grow thousands of pounds of food every season, thanks to Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, and we can donate it to our community partners like Mana Community Kitchen, Starlight Center, East Hampton Community Center, Northampton Survival Center, CSO Respite. Yeah, and we have lots of volunteers that help us do it. And Jules is here.
Hello. Hello again, if you've been watching this whole time.
Jules is our new member of the team, our TerraCore Youth Education and Community Engagement Coordinator, going to be helping with figuring out the programs that we're going to be doing this fall and this season during this strange time. And tell you about what we're up to today. We, well actually, but first before I start with just acknowledging the land that we're on, and this land that we are able to farm and cultivate and steward at the moment has been cultivated and stewarded for thousands of years before us, and the Nipmuc and Pecumtuck people and the Nonotuck tribes that lived here in the Connecticut River Valley for thousands of years before European colonization. And so one crop that I wanted to talk about today is the squash harvest. And so we can come over here. So you can see our it looks like a little bit of a sad landscape, I'd say, but maybe that's just because I want them to be all vibrant and growing, but kind of when the squash plants are ready to be harvested, they do appear to be dead, which is part of it. So the vines actually sprawl and die out so that then the fruit can be ready for harvesting. So we've been harvesting delicata this whole week. I harvested them a little on the early side, I'd say, because I was a little afraid of rodent damage. And we've had some rodent friends in the garden this season for sure. And they've been nibbling away at things. So I wanted to make sure that we got them before anyone else did. I can pull up the beautiful, basically like when the delicata squash becomes ready, it has these kind of not quite straight green stripes, and yeah, they're just a little bit like very artistic looking, I think. And well, oh, and so then this is a characteristic So when it's ready, there's this orange spot that's from where it sat on the ground and where the sun didn't hit it. And I think it's referred to as the sunspot. Maybe you know, Jules, I don't know.
That's what I've heard too. And the watermelons have the same thing.
Yeah, so, which is kind of funny because the sunspot is the only place that it doesn't touch the sun, which I think is kind of nice. So, yeah, so you look for that orange spot, and I've also heard about the thumbnail test, where if your thumbnail can pierce it, well, then it's not quite ready. But when your thumbnail can't, then it is ready. But if you let it sit for a few days after, because my thumbnail is kind of going into this skin right here. So if you let it sit for a few days, it will harden, and the outer surface will get harder. But delicata squash is not as much of a storage squash as butternuts or some of the other bigger ones. It's definitely has a shorter lifespan, and it's just more delicate, hence its name. But I think it's delicious. It's also the gateway squash for eating the skin, because you can eat the skin of this and it's delicious and it's very tender. And once I started eating delicata squash skin, I was like, there's no stopping. I don't know if you eat skin of a squash, Jules, but
I think I've had butternut skin before.
yeah,
I think it's kind of crispy.
Yeah, exactly. I think that it's all squash skin can be kind of delicious, but after you try delicata squash skin, you realize that it's okay. Yeah, and you know, speaking of, just like, this is a plant that has been grown here, like in this place in the Connecticut River Valley. Maybe not this exact delicata squash, but squashes like it, like very, very closely related, for thousands of years. And it's just like an instrumental plant in the Three Sisters companion planting that existed here, and the native people here planted, and also in Mesoamerica and the different parts of the Americas. So it's a beautiful plant. I love it. It looks really artistic. Right now, the plant itself doesn't look exactly the most beautiful, but the fruits. So we've already harvested like hundreds of pounds, maybe like 300 pounds or something.
Mm.
So we'll get some more. There's some more left in there. Maybe later this week or next week.
It's hiding in there.
It's hiding in the greenery. Yeah. Yeah, maybe people have questions about growing squashes, and also like happy to continue to answer those later on, because
drop them in the comments.
yeah, and squashes, yeah, it takes up a lot. For something, it takes up a lot of space. I had it sprawled basically like double its bed width, so that it could have a place to go. And so I know that a lot of plants in the squash family do that too. I thought that we could go right over here. So this is a little rogue patch. This is not part of the Giving Garden. This is a project that I think existed before my time at Grow Food Northampton, a couple years ago, or more than that. Yeah, I've been here for 3 years now, and I think that maybe this was a herb garden 5 years ago, 6, 7, and now what exists is mint.
The mint took over.
Yes,
which it tends to do.
Yeah, and it's so beautiful. This is apple mint that's growing here. It's what did I say the Latin name was? It's such a beautiful name. It's Mentha suven or something like that, because it's soft. It's basically the word for soft, because if you feel this plant, it is just the most like fuzzy, soft thing that you would want to yeah, and it smells so nice. I can even smell it through the mask. And characteristic thing that I like to do with plants in the mint family, twirl it between your fingers. Maybe people know that trick, that all plants in the mint family, which is huge, by the way. Lots of things are in the mint family, like lavender, just typical sage, culinary herbs.
Everything fragrant.
Yeah.
Not everything, but many fragrant things.
And any things that have antibacterial qualities, antiseptic qualities, like the mint does, antimicrobial, thyme, oregano. They have a square stem, so if I twirl it between my fingers, it's square, which is, or it's not. It's definitely not round. It's a very good
Catnip.
characteristic. Yeah, a defining trait. Yeah, it's like it's such a treat. You can put it in your water. You can make medicine with it. It's like calming to the stomach, calming to the digestive system. Rest, like, promotes rest and sleep. I was reading something about it. It's just like a well-rounded, good kind of friendly plant. Also really good for kids and anybody who comes on field trips, and I want them to harvest it. So, despite it being this rogue plant that we'll probably one day want to make a little bit smaller, and we want to make sure that it doesn't creep everywhere into the Giving Garden, but it's definitely something that we can you can just make use of now while it's here and share it with people. Also, the bees of it.
Bees. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to show off right now. How many bees there are.
There's so many. There's bumblebees, there's honeybees, there's different kinds of like wasps. Also at the community garden here, we have lots of different kinds of native bees. People come here. Oh, look, there's a monarch on one.
Yeah, it's a very good pollinator plant.
Yeah. So it definitely has benefits. I know. I like to sometimes talk on every week about plants that we maybe otherwise think of as sort of troublesome and irritating and maybe like just bothersome plants, but actually it's kind of cool to sometimes think about all the benefits that they have too.
Yeah.
So I think that's all that we have to share today. We're going to continue doing cover cropping. We have our broad fork set up right here where we'll be planting oats and peas, and hopefully it will rain tomorrow and it will water our cover crop in. And and maybe next week we'll talk about the sweet potato flowers.
Oh yeah.
And the sweet potato plants over there.
A little preview of
Yeah,
next
a little
week.
preview. Yeah. I knew that was something else that I wanted to share. But
Stay tuned.
yeah. Okay, thanks for watching and see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.